Hello and welcome to UPSC History Optional. Nowadays, we are seeing in news the issue of Gyanvapi Mosque and the wide coverage it is attracting from Indian press. So basically, this issue has gained the communal as well as political contours. But in this lecture, we are going to link this topic from the very important portion of our UPSC History Optional syllabus. I'll explain a bit. The issue of Gyanvapi Mosque basically stems from the erection of a mosque on a portion of the Kasi Vishwanath temple during the reign of Aurangzeb. The relevant portion of the history optional is the religious policy of Mughals, including that of Akbar as well as Aurangzeb and others also. So, although this topic is very large and the full coverage of it will touch upon many other topics such as Rajput policy of Akbar, again a very important topic from our syllabus, the Mughal administration also. But today we'll try to, in this short video, we'll try to keep ourselves focused mainly on the religious policy of major Mughal rulers. So we would start with Babur, and it will show on your screen the relevant portion of the syllabus. I'll make sure. So with Babur, first of all, Babur came to India in 1526 and he ruled only for a very short time. And most of that short time also was spent in the hot pursuit of warfare. So we do not have any sufficient data to fully know his religious views. However, it is known that he advised on several occasions Humayun not to interfere in the religious policy of Hindus. He also got his sons Kamran and Humayun married to the Rajput princesses. So what we see basically, the policy of Changiz and Taimur were not implemented by him. And in fact, in the Indian circumstances where there was so much diversity, these policies were not suitable also. For example, we see Humayun, who was a Sunni Muslim, employing Bairam Khan at a very key and fundamental position. Bairam Khan was a Shia Muslim, and he is said to be the godfather of Akbar in the because the second war of Panipat, if we see, that was won by Bairam Khan actually. Akbar was a 13 or 14 years old teenager at that point of time. So this was Babur and Humayun. Then we come to Akbar. The religious policy of Akbar has been asked in so many PYQs, particularly from the point of view of the Sulh Kul and Din-e-Ilahi. In this video, we are not going to cover these topics. We will do it at some other opportunity. Today, we are going to talk about the religious policy of Akbar in a way that it is covered without covering much of the Din-e-Ilahi and Sulh Kul. Okay, so Akbar's religious policy is usually covered in three phases. The first phase is considered to be from 1556 when he assumed the throne up to 1573. So in the first phase, there was so much rapid steps that were taken by him. He abolished the pilgrimage tax. He prohibited conversion of prisoner of war to Islam. He married Rajput princesses without forcing them to convert to Islam. He abolished jizya. At that point of time, Abul Fazl, who wrote Akbarnama and Ain Akbari, he wrote that ulemas opposed the abolition of jizya. So whatever the steps that Akbar took, he took them against the will of the dominating ulemas of the day. And ulemas wanted jizya actually, not for the purpose of the profit or the surplus income of the empire, but for their personal contempt against Hindus. Similarly, no one should think that Akbar was not a devout or orthodox Muslim. He was an orthodox Muslim, and there are many instances of orthodoxy that are attributed to him. But we also must understand that in the medieval times, the orthodoxy was often used as a political tool. For example, if we see the orthodox examples of Akbar, in 1556, Akbar signed a farman wherein the jizya collection from the region of Agra was mentioned. Similarly, when the Chittor was defeated by Akbar in 1568, he issued Fathanama, which was a very Islamic orthodox document. So, and even the jizya that Akbar abolished, this also continued at one point or another, and it was sometimes temporarily instated in some region so as to control the defiant local rulers, etc. In fact, Abdul Qadir Badayuni says at one point of time that jizya was reimposed in 1575. So here you should, since we are preparing from the point of view of the UPSC history optional, you should keep in mind this person Abdul Qadir Badayuni. He was a historian and thinker of the Akbar's time, and he wrote a very famous book, Muntakhab ul Tawariq. So in this book, basically he criticizes Akbar. Everywhere you have to write in the criticism of Akbar, you have to quote Badayuni, because Badayuni was an anti-Akbar, you can say. In fact, so much so that at one point Badayuni blames the fall of Islam from the world on Akbar. So it's very funny actually. At the same time, wherever Akbar is praised, it is mostly done by Abul Fazl. And since he was his court man, and Akbar paid Abul Fazl for it. So due to the easy religious policy of Akbar, many Rajputs joined Mughal service during this period, and Rajputs became the fighting arm of the Mughal Empire for next 2 centuries. So it was a very important achievement of Akbar. That's why Rajput policy of Akbar is also covered in syllabus. We will cover it at an appropriate time. Thereafter, the second phase, that is considered between 1573 to 1580. This was the period of intense debates and introspection. So what happened, in fact, the Badayuni in this period said that in the first phase, there was rapid consolidation of the empire. So since the stability was achieved till now, so now Akbar had more time to spend in the Ibadat Khana debates. So he started his contemplation from the Masnavis of liberal Sufi sants, such as the great Persian thinkers, philosophers and poets, Maulana Rumi, Hafiz, and then many others, Umar Khayyam, etc. So first of all, Akbar started his discussion only among the Sunni Muslims, but slowly he opened it to all. Then even Hindus, Jains, Buddhists, Christians, everyone sat in the Ibadat Khana debates, and they discussed the religious as well as philosophical matters. These Ibadat Khana debates continued for many years, and Akbar stopped them in 1582. The reason was very curious. Akbar said that he got so many difference of opinions and interpretations of the religious views in the Ibadat Khana debates that he wished not to having heard them at all. It happens when you get so much of it, you wish you had lesser of it. So basically it was the third phase, that was between 1581 and 1605, which was the last years of Akbar's life also, that his religious beliefs and all the crux of his Ibadat Khana debates finally crystallized into his new faith, and which is the Deen Ilahi, and which professed the Tawheed Ilahi, the monotheism. We will discuss it some other day. So again, Badayuni comes into picture. He charges Akbar of adopting Hindu Jain practices such as worshipping sun and fire and repeating 1001 names of sun in Sanskrit. So putting a tika on the head and adopting custom of Rakhi, etc. So again, Abdul Qadir Badayuni was a representation of the orthodoxy at that point of time. So if we see the Jain sants such as Acharya Hira Vijaya Suri, Akbar greatly explored the Jain ideas with him. Similarly, Christian missionaries such as Father Montserrat was also uh, uh, he was treated well at the court of Akbar, and at one point of time these fathers thought that Akbar would convert into Christianity, but Akbar did not. It was the curious and open mind of Akbar that allowed him to know about the new and different faiths and sects without actually adopting to them. Here we can say, as Bipin Chandra has, I'm so sorry, not Bipin Chandra, Satish Chandra has done in his book. He said that the Mughals were basically cultured people. They were not barbarians or savages. Even Babur has written his book. So he was very cultured. He knew the weathers, uh, different kind of fruits, gardens, poetry, etc. Similar was Humayun was a man of letters. Then we come to Akbar. Although uneducated, although Akbar was uneducated, he was very cultured. Then we know about the sophistication of Jahangir and Shah Jahan. Both of them, there is not much to be said about them as about their religious policy, because they do not have any actual original policy of their own. They furthered the Akbar's policy. There were some instances where they deviated from it, such as this matter of Sikh gurus. The Guru Arjan Dev was killed by Jahangir, and so on. But it is stated by the experts that these events had more political color than the communal one. So now we come to Aurangzeb. So the Aurangzeb had a different policy than Akbar. So Aurangzeb, as any other Mughal, was a Sunni Muslim, and he was not interested in the debates or the mysticism. So he took many steps, such as he stopped kalima inscribing on the coins. He appointed mutahassibs. Mutahassibs were basically the religious people who oversaw, like who is committing blasphemy or who is not following religion properly. So there are some kind of supervisors who would take the बंदगी का हिसाब कि आपने कितनी बंदगी की है. And he banned the festivals like Nowruz. Then he forbade, which was a Persian basically festival. So Aurangzeb forbade music, stopped Jharoka Darshan. Jharoka Darshan was a typically Mughal policy, and wherein a Mughal king would appear from the balcony of his palace and people would see him. And it was considered that their diseases and miseries will go away when they see the king. So it's interesting. He reimposed jizya. So, but historians are divided on Aurangzeb too. There is recent stream of thought on Aurangzeb, such as this Audrey Truschke, an American scholar. She has written several books on Aurangzeb in recent past, wherein she has tried to prove that Aurangzeb's orthodoxy was more a political necessity of those times rather than a sheer communalism of heart. So it is interesting opinion. It's a fresh opinion actually, because since so many decades we have the same opinion on Aurangzeb, okay, he was communal, etc. But this is a fresh opinion, and many people are giving keen attention to this opinion. Even if we see the contemporaries of Aurangzeb, such as the Khafi Khan, you have to mention these names in your answers so as to give it more value. So basically this Khafi Khan says that he subverted the policies of Akbar, tolerant policies of Akbar, which then subverted the loyalty of Hindus away from the Mughals. For example, I just mentioned that Rajputs were the fighting arms of the Mughals. So Aurangzeb, even Rajputs were distracted by the policies of Aurangzeb. But some other experts says that Aurangzeb had to take these stringent steps because of the laxities of the previous rulers. So previous rulers were so lax that many Hindu nobles and kings were getting out of control, and then Aurangzeb had to somehow control them again. Similarly, Jadunath Sarkar and S.R. Sharma, both of them say that he was a bigot. In fact, Jadunath Sarkar has written a book on Aurangzeb and a book on Shivaji, both equally popular. So you can read this book if you get free time. So, but some other says that Hindus got more mansab during the times of Aurangzeb and they became 1/4 of the total nobility. So similarly, there are many other opinions such as this Shibli Nomani or Detrushke that I just mentioned. They said that Aurangzeb was not a bigot and he was merely a product of the circumstances. So basically these debates go on, and this is the beauty of history, that we never get true answers. There are only inferences, only every verdict is an interim verdict, so no verdict is final. So we will also continue to study the Mughal religious policy in the view of new evidences and new facts. Thank you.